way from Chicago to join us. We are especially grateful that he is on his second visit in just 1 month. Earlier in March, he was with us for our special library dedication in honor of his late mother, the late Mrs. Doris Jean Moore. Dr. Moore graciously awarded the elementary school a grant to fund the library's opening and the ongoing developments. Dr. Clemon Moore is an associate professor of management in the Brennan School of Business at Dominican University. He teaches international business management, organizational behavior, and a variety of other organizational management topics. Dr. Moore is an avid business researcher and motivational speaker. He was most recently named the 2011 Distinguished Alumnus Civic Achievement by the Kettering University GMI Alumnus Association. Dr. Moore is the author of the book, From Failure to Promise, An Uncommon Path to the Professionate. From Failure to Promise has held the #1 rated spot on Amazon on several locations in the genre of memoir biographies of educators. In addition to his top-rated memoir, he's a published author of peer-related articles from around the world. He sits on the board of the Strategic Decision Education Foundation and is an academic advisor to the Better Man Than Me Foundation. He and his wife, Nicole, we are so glad that they made the trip to us. They live just a few miles south of Chicago, and they have 4 beautiful boys. And with that, I would like to welcome Dr. Moore to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, everyone. After such a robust introduction, I have a huge challenge to deliver an interesting and insightful message. Well, that is exactly what I plan to do. My purpose for making the drive from Chicago last night and joining all of you this morning is twofold. Number one, I am here to celebrate with each of you. This is the type of tremendous accomplishment and celebration that we know just doesn't happen every day. At a time where the economics and politics of many urban cities leads to the closure and the conjoining of schools, Dayton Horizon Science Academy has broken new grounds and built a beautiful school, rich in resources, character, and academic preparation. Number two, or the second reason I leaped at the opportunity to be here today, is that I care. I care about each and every student that attends Dayton Horizon Science Academy and wanted another opportunity to put some words and energy behind our engagement and support of literacy initiatives here. Ask yourself for a moment, could there possibly be a greater reason, cause, or occasion for us all to gather together this morning? I'm more than honored to be here sharing in this glorious occasion. If you were to briefly revisit the African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, we are blessed to see and be a part of what the Dayton Science Academy Village is comprised of. The village analogy goes far beyond the idea of a collective group of neighbors watching out for the well-being of everyone in the community. Many of us remember those good old days where a Mrs. Smith or a Mr. Brown would sit on their porch for and with the sole purpose of reporting any of the neighborhood children's mischief, or to threaten or even to scold those children. Even though the roles that the Mrs. Smiths or Mr. Browns took were a much needed construct of community vitality, the Mr. Browns, the Mrs. Smith, or even the Dr. Moores of remote communities have a greater obligation, an obligation to be proactive and to use our resources, our talents and skills to partner with educational or community villages, not to chastise the children or to scold them, but it's our obligation to roll up our sleeves and get into the thick of it, encouraging, motivating, and inspiring youth to reach their fullest potential. That is what I am personally about, and that is how I am wired. The Dayton Horizon Science Academy Village includes outstanding parents, guardians, students, business owners are in this community, lawmakers, educators, clergy, and leaders of non-governmental organizations like myself. Why does it take so many of us to invest so much and so heavily in our youth, you ask? The truth of the matter is, our individual and professional successes will and can go null and void if we don't continue to develop generations of capable, intelligent, driven, and well-balanced students to sustain, to increase the competitiveness of this region, this country, and the world as we know it. Each and every one of us has a stake in the outcomes of the youth of this community. Large-scale positive change has always been the result of teamwork and the shared vision of a dedicated few that sparks the movement and transformation of many. It is true that success is never achieved alone. But if you want to take the stance, woe me, I am just one person. What can I do to change the world? Then I would suggest that we look into the history books. We will find a vastly multicultural array of simply one-of-a-kind individuals that rose to the challenge of being that one. Either the name or the contribution might resonate or ring a bell with you. Dr. Patricia Bath. Her contribution was the cataract removal apparatus. Luis Federico Lelwar, his studies revealed the causes of lactose intolerance. Dr. Grace Murray Hopper, and we'll date ourselves here, she was the creator of COBOL programming, language which kept us moving to BASIC, Pascal, C++. If that doesn't ring a bell, today's JavaScript. Further evidence of the power of one was mostly recently illustrated through an exclusive interview with world-renowned neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Carlson. Dr. Carlson explained that when he goes through the process of slicing into a human skull and examines a brain, they are all the same. Interesting. My race, your race, our social classes, and gender aren't evidenced or indicated by the makeup of our human brains. I gather and conclude from that fact that these Horizon Science Academy students have the intellectual capacity to exceed the innovations and discoveries of Hopper, Lelwar, Bath, and perhaps Dr. Carlson himself. The inspiration, skill development, and motivation to accomplish great things starts in the K through 12 atmosphere. In fact, many experts have deducted that in most cases, the aptitude to excel in the sciences starts with preparation at the middle school level. Dayton Horizon Science Academy and this community gets it. But how do we make sure that our students continue to get it? In order for them to reach their full promise, we must look closely at two constructs that both begin with the letter I: influence and infrastructure. There's one more I word: institutionalism. But institutionalism is the glue for influence and infrastructure. Here's the connection. Strong institutions yield strong students and citizens. Our students will be able to compete on a global scale. I still believe that our institutions here in the United States, schools, courts, households, families, communities, non-governmental organizations, and churches have greater power to achieve favorable results than our counterparts in Taiwan, Tokyo, Singapore, and the UK. As we shift our priority to developing social enterprises such as this great school, we will inadvertently subside and systemically decrease new entrants into our criminal justice system. Education is not the cure-all, but I have professional and personal experience that it is the cure for most of the all. Parents and families, please do know and understand that you have the greatest impact or influence on our children. They often fail to hear what we say, but they never fail to see what we do. One of the greatest gifts that you can give to a child is a well-developed self-concept, a positive attitude, and a thirst for high achievement. It's not a trip to Cedar Point, which I happen to know is Ohio's convincing and more affordable response to Orlando's Disney World. It's not the latest iPhone, and definitely not a Sweet 16 birthday party. As a university professor, I see it all the time. Many of the students with the latest and hottest trends, whether it be a North Face jacket or a Gucci book bag, have not read the textbook in preparation for the day's lecture. And sadly, many of them lack the confidence to believe that they will understand what is in the chapters. We can't buy our kids. We have to continue to build our kids. It is obvious that Dayton Horizon Science Academy and Concept Schools Incorporated has committed the infrastructure. We must continue to keep our children committed and driven. That is where our foundation comes in. Dr. Seymour and Associates Incorporated's mission is to inspire and to encourage educators and students to reach great promise that results in improved global citizenship. We accomplish this mission by awarding grants to the K through 12 educators and scholarships to high school seniors and college students. Our programs include, but are not limited to, the From Failure to Promise K through 12 Educators Grant and the From Failure to Promise Scholarship Essay Contest. By the way, what my bio doesn't denote is that I was once an inner city youth who flunked out of college. Obviously, my story did not end there. My personal journey from failure to promise would not have been possible without the strong institutionalism of family. Two parents that gave all they had from within themselves to encourage me, one of which, my beloved mother, of whom this library bears the name of. Thus, in closing, I decided to answer the call of providing both influence and infrastructure to both students and educators. Not only do I believe that our children can fly, I know that our children can fly. It is a commonly shared religious premise that there is no greater love than to lie down one's life for a brother. The law of altruism and the notion that it is better to give than it is to receive has to be high on that list of oaths to live by. The momentum of this day will continue simply because each of us will still look from within ourselves and make sure that our behaviors, efforts, and contributions provide influence and infrastructure to our most precious assets, our youth, regardless of our vocations or institutional rank and or position. As I bid farewell for now, I thank each of you for your time and for allowing us to assist in the development of our youth. Once again, congratulations to each of you, this community, and this very fine city. Thank you.